as the third umpire today. Third over this time with the off-break action. And we've seen some better disguise than that over the years. We talked about Abdul Razak's slower ball, but this one not quite so well concealed. Now, what on earth has happened here? Now, I've hardly ever seen Rahul Dravid raise his voice or heard Rahul Dravid raise his voice. Something has triggered that. Well, it's just a collision. Well, it happens in cricket all the time. And in comes the referee.
So, rightly so. Rahul Dravid must have been expecting it after that little confrontation.
Should get 2, if not more.
See that on replay, see what he did then.
Shane Watson just having a chat to the umpire. Gambhir just a bit of argy-bargy between the oh dear, words exchanged. The battle's on.
So I think Watson told him something when he went past him. And that's what sparked off the reaction from Gambhir. As he goes past him, he sticks his arm out, and Gambhir says, "Okay, even I have an arm that I can stick out."
Bowling. Best has the last laugh. Oh no, this is crossing the line here. Physical contact, and Malik did not take too kindly to whatever was said from Tino, and that is a match referee job. Both players there a bit hot under the collar. Wow. Tino's having the last word, literally and otherwise. Cannot react. Malik, you cannot touch. It's a good line. Malik went too far across, looking to exploit short fine leg, but it's what happened after. Yeah, you can't do that. There's a line. All cricketers talk about a line, and it's almost an imaginary line, but I would imagine physical contact is crossing it.
For a while, but as I mentioned, the placement was good. And 4 valuable runs to New Zealand.
So 6 off the over. A good result here as a single to Scott Styris. A better result is another boundary if he can get it. And he can. Not happy, Mitchell Johnson. Not happy. Oh, hello. Hello. 2:44 for 7. The 2 is on.
Well, face to face, Scotty Styris and Mitchell Johnson. So Mitchell Johnson's gone for back-to-back boundaries. Now, I'm not sure whether there was anything said after this. Scotty Styris might have said, "How do you like that?" That was the ball before. Bit of contact. And then this is the second boundary. Away in a similar spot. Ryan Harris couldn't track it down. And then a bit of glove pointing and a bit of, well, helmet to forehead almost looked like.
I haven't seen this for a long time. Oh! Not quite sure I'd be wanting to headbutt a helmet, but Brad Haddin right in the middle of it, straight away.
And I'm not quite sure whether they clashed running between the wickets and in terms of the follow-through. It seemed to me as if that was what it was about. I've got a right to run there.
That's line, and we very nearly had ourselves a fight on the ground. Javed Miandad prepared to go around him. Lilly moving across into his way. Now remember, Javed Miandad's out of his crease there.
Desperate to dance. Watch here as Lilly shows us a bit of the sidestep shuffle.
And you can see you there aiming a kick at Javed Miandad, and Miandad aiming to hit.
Another dot ball. Very well ball. 261 to 6.
Few pleasantries being exchanged between Harbhajan and Shoaib Akhtar. Teams are on fire. Tension taking the pressure of the players.
Gone to the last over, 7 required.
Cameron Akmal against Gautam Gambhir. There we go. And he's convinced something has happened. They're doing the drinks break. Words were exchanged. Umpires had to intervene. Dhoni's had to pull Gambhir aside. Chat continued. And Billy Bowden has jumped in there and just said
He can't grip properly. The diving hand, a bit of a mix-up here. Silverman Ben, he was putting the hip and shoulder in. Richard Johnson, he's not the shortest, and there's a little bit of a go. Ben's never far from an incident.
Yeah, it's good that the Australians are finally going to do something back to him. He's been standing close and invading personal space on a few players and always in on the action, so that's fine. Brad Haddon, get out of his way and let him run.
Well, interesting to see what actually happened in the rain. Silverman Ben's quite entitled to go and try and field the ball. I suppose at times players will come together when a situation like that happens. I think it depends on how it's handled afterwards.
Yeah, big man. Watch yourself from me, big man. Watch.
Well, he's got to get on with it here. Silverman Ben has had enough to say. I think you're right, Tubby.
I just wonder whether the Umpire Palmer's having a word with Aqib Javid. He's indicated that there's too much short stuff in there, and the relative skills of the batsmen have to be taken into account. And this is not a pleasant ending to the day's play.
Well, certainly it's senseless at this stage of the game, but at the same time I feel that that particular delivery wasn't short enough.
No ball called, so the over is taking some while. Now umpire Palmer and umpire Shepherd are exchanging words.
I think that has been a warning given to Palmer, given by Palmer to Aqib Javid.
And again, short of a length, but nothing exceptional in that to umpire Palmer. It's the end of an over that was full of incident, some of it not too pretty. Well, this is an unfortunate incident, and one that undoubtedly will bring in the international referee, which is Conrad Hunt.
Oh, no, this is not good. This is a flashpoint that is just not good. It's been simmering under the surface here at the Wankhede Stadium, and that is not what you want to see on any cricket field. Stark's come out and Pollard's walked away, and then Stark follows him. That's pretty bad. I think he pulled out of the real throw, the real general throw. That would have gone straight at Mitchell Stark.
Yeah, that's line, and we very nearly had ourselves a fight on the ground. Javid Miandad prepared to go around him, moving across into his way. Now remember, Javid Miandad's out of his crease there.
Desperate to dance. Watch here as Lily shows us a bit of the sidestep shuffle.
And you can see he there aiming a kick at Javid Miandad, and Miandad aiming to hit.
It's well fielded, and there's a mix-up here. Mark Waugh's run out. No, he's not. Lehman's run out. Mark Waugh stopped dead. Lehman didn't quite make it to him. Well, he played the cut shot. It was very well fielded. Now they want Mark Waugh off the ground, and I think my reaction, I've got to say, was that Mark Waugh was out. Lehman has left. Will they call for a replay here?
I agree totally. My initial reaction was that Darren Lehman had gone past Mark Waugh. And Gangulli's quite right to ask, but I guess once the umpire's made a decision, Tendulkar, Ganguly, they're all saying, hey, and Mark Waugh's getting involved in the conversation. If I were Mark Waugh, I'd be walking well away from this conversation, because he can only lose. If they call for the third umpire, I would suggest that Mark Waugh is in trouble. Now, the umpires are going to confer whether they can actually call for the replay, Green.
Well, I mean, the object of the exercise here should be to get it right. This is actually a very significant point. It looks as if they're going to ask for it. There's been no signal here. So it may well be that we as a television company will be asked to supply some replays if possible here. Bear in mind that we haven't got any pictures or any cameras exactly square. We've got them in line with the stumps for the runouts. And this is where sometimes it's just a little bit unfair, where we're expected to be the adjudicator here. This could be significant, as David Hooks pointed out. He did say that if Lehman was joined by a new batsman, well, then it could make a bit of a difference. And Mark Waugh, however, is still out there. Now then, did they cross? Now, you've got to get two things. You've got to bear two things in mind here. Where were the batsmen at the time the bails were taken off? So here we go. Waugh says no. Waugh, oh, he does go past him. He does go past him. Well, just looking at that replay, I would say Waugh went past him.
This could be interesting. Lehman may have to come all the way back out here. Waugh was adamant, said, no, I didn't go past him. So, well, the Indians come into play there, and they say, I want a replay. That's the Indian captain. Now, this is from sideways on. This will tell us the story. Here goes Lehman. The question is, what happens? We see the bails. The bails go off. There's no batsman in play there. There's no doubt someone's out. Well, let's have a look if this angle gives us anything. Your view, David?
Oh, look, Mark Waugh, from the naked eye, he went past. And in this situation, from this angle here, will tell you that Mark Waugh has gone past. Now, whether he thinks it is a two-dimensional picture with a three-dimensional situation, that may be the only thing. But look at the shadow of Lehman will tell you. The shadow of Lehman, and Mark Waugh has clearly gone past that shadow. So that's why Mark Waugh, I felt, had to stay out of the argument. Darren Lehman, very much a team-orientated decision. He's just walked straight off.
Yes, I think that's what he's done. But I think they're looking at the shadows there. Let's just watch the ball come in. This is going backwards. Now we've got to go forwards and just have a look to see exactly where they get to here. Now the ball's coming in. Watch the shadows. They're equal there. And do they go on a little bit further on? The ball's coming in. Mark Waugh now into a position where his legs come together. There's no doubt in my mind that Mark Waugh is the man out there looking at it at that angle. Very close, mind you.
Quite able to keep it along the ground, Yunus, and that's a very, very fine catch. Very fine catch. He was pretty nonchalant about it, and now he's asking. And Billy Bowden saying, well, hang on a minute, I'm just going off to the third umpire. And Raina in the back.
I hope both of them saw the joke. It's a bit cranky.